Alright, today I'm going to talk about JavaScript, not to be confused with Java. JavaScript is used in many web pages we see today, which allows them to function really. It gives them a lot more oomph and diversity. So, the story of the creation of JavaScript is actually pretty funny. It was created in 10 days in May of 1995 by a man named Brendan Eich, who was working at Netscape at the time and now works at Mozilla. And JavaScript at first was not going to be called JavaScript. The original name was Mocha, which was not chosen by Ike himself, but one of his teammates at Netscape, Mark Anderson. And then in September of 1995, the name was changed again to LiveScript, and then in December of the same year, upon receiving a trademark license from Sun, the name JavaScript was adopted. And this was somewhat of a marketing move at the time because Java was also very popular in the 90s as well, as it is today. So in 1996 to 1997, JavaScript was taken to ECMA to carve out a standard specification, which other browser vendors could then implement based on the work done at Netscape. And the work done over this period of time eventually led to the official release of ECMA script, with JavaScript being the most well-known of the implementations. And AS3, or ActionScript 3, is another well-known implementation of ECMA script. Then ECMA script upgraded to ECMA script 2 in 1998 and to 3 in 1999. And ECMA script 3 was really the baseline for modern day JavaScript. And the JS2, or original ES4, which would then precede ECMA script 3, was led by a man named Waldemar Horwath, who was working at Netscape at the time, but now works at Google. And he started this in 2000, and at first Microsoft seemed to participate and even implemented some of the proposals in their JavaScript.net language. Sorry. And over time, though, it was clear that Microsoft didn't want to cooperate with implementing JavaScript in Internet Explorer, even though they had no other competing proposal, and they had a partial implementation of the .NET server side. So by 2003, the JS2 and original ES4 was just completely scrapped. And this brings us to probably the most important event in 2005 for JavaScript. Ike and Mozilla rejoined ECMA as non-for-profit and started working on something called E4X, which actually came from ex-Microsoft employees. And this led to working jointly with Macromedia, who were implementing E4X in AS3. And AS3 was actually just a fork of Waldemar's JavaScript 2 work. So, along with Macromedia, who was later acquired by Adobe, work restarted on ECMA script 4 with the goal of standardizing what was in AS3 and implementing it in SpiderMonkey. Now, SpiderMonkey was actually the first JavaScript language that Ike ever wrote, and this is what they were trying to implement it to. And to this end, Adobe released AVM2, or Tamarin as they like to call it, as an open source project, but this and AS3 were too different from web JavaScript to converge. And this caused some turmoil between the various players. Doc Crockford, who was at Yahoo at the time, joined forces with Microsoft in 2007 just to completely oppose the ECMA script 4, and it worked, and this led to an effort to make ECMA script 3.1. And while all this was happening, there was many behind the scenes players within the community of JavaScript that were really trying to bring it forward and bring it into the limelight, as it should be. And this was really sparked by a man named Jesse James Garrett, who released a white paper, and he described a set of technologies of which JavaScript was actually the backbone that was used to create web applications where data can be loaded in the background and avoiding the need for full-page reloads and resulting in more dynamic applications. And this paper, along with the entire JavaScript community taking part, resulted in somewhat of a renaissance period for JavaScript, where many libraries that were open source were created, such as Prototype, jQuery, Dojo, and MooTools. Then lastly, in July of 2008, the disparate parties on both sides came together in Oslo, and they agreed to rename ECMAScript 3.1 to ECMAScript 5 and drive the language forward using something known as Harmony, which involved many new features for ECMAScript. And all this just leads up to today, where JavaScript is one of the main languages used in web development, and it's just so versatile with the new developments like Node.js allowing us to use JavaScript on the server side, and HTML5 APIs to control user media and open up WebSockets for always-on communication. So this was just a little background on the creation of JavaScript. I thought it was pretty interesting how quickly it was created and how many times it was reworked and moved around. So thank you for watching.